Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome to Skyye Lyfe. Let's see who's in here. Oh, wait, let me get my glasses. I don't even have my right glasses. Hey Summer, hey Dougie, 420, Court, what's going on? Hey guy, welcome back to Skyye Lyfe. For those of you who are returning people, you know I got love for y'all. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys please hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. If you have to leave, that's fine. Please catch the replay. You know, if you guys need to reach me, you could hit me in the comments or either you could send me an email. I just want to tell you guys that those of you who support me, I truly appreciate it. Excellent. Put y'all names up there. I like to make sure I put y'all on the screen to let people know I appreciate y'all. You know, it's funny because a lot of times it be people that be the closest to you that be the biggest haters. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I want to let you guys know that I truly appreciate you. And you know, you guys also see how it is in Chicago. You see how this drill scene is. You see everything that's going on. You hear about us. And from those of you that are in Chicago, you already know people in Chicago, they don't support their own. These bloggers got their own little thing going on. You know, but it's, you know, all is well. You know, I see it. You know, it's funny because, you know, people say they support, you know, Chicago people don't support you. Bloggers don't understand. Support is I go to your channel, you go to my channel. You see what I'm saying? Or you shout me out, or you know what I'm saying, you come in the chat, even say hi. You see what I'm saying? You show up. You or you leave a comment after the video and say, hey, replay. Like, you know what I'm saying? People got their own little thing going on, but you know, it is what it is. I just know I have to remain thorough and I have to remain silent. And again, shout out, I'm gonna say too, shout out to Chi-Town Finest. I really appreciate her as well. And make sure you guys subscribe to her channel. Um, so let me also say, if you guys are interested, if you need thumbnails, I do like different type of graphic designs. If you need thumbnails, if you need like video clips like this one behind my little facial picture up here, I also sell those. I build websites, anything that you need that'll help you with your YouTube channel. In regards to graphics, I should be able to do for the most part. I also do business cards, whatever, Instagram loading, you know, reach out to me. Also, if you want to shop where professional cosmetologists and beauty specialists shop at, go to my store at the shopthepolishedlook.com. You can go to that website and you can go to that store and get, you know, professional shampoo, professional, not professional, professional products, shampoos, conditioners, tools, flat irons, stuff like that. So, again, thank you guys for coming. Today, as you know, you all saw the topic. We're going over yesterday. I started reading the transcripts for Cooperator 1 from the Santiago Proffer in the FBG Duck trial. And we came to some conclusions yesterday that one, Mr. Wiley, who was Cooperator 1, you know, people were saying that he got paid. He did get paid. However, from the point that we got to yesterday, the amount was not disclosed, okay, that he got paid for testifying. I'm trying to think of what else we discovered. We also discovered, you know, basically like we've already known, you know, a lot of these young black guys get jammed up in criminal instances and you know, are taken to jail. And you know, really after you go to jail the first time, you know, your life just turns out 3 times as hard, because now you trying to, if you want to try and get a job, it's going to be hard for you to overcome that. You know, once you get in the criminal system, you kind of don't really shake that. And then the recidivism rate is pretty high. So 9 times out of 10, once you go in, you're going to go back to prison. But also, what else we talk about? This is what we talked about that was very interesting, and the conclusion I came to, that these guys are not seen as official affiliated gang members by other gang members that are in Chicago. So you have a lot of they really, you know, the official guys look at these guys like they stunned, you know what I'm saying, and like they front, because they're not really gang members. So that's what you're dealing with when it comes down to this FBG Duck case. So I'm gonna go ahead and give me a second. I got to get my other glasses and I'm gonna start reading. So you guys can listen to what we have. So give me a second. Okay, so I'm back. I got my glasses. I'm still not feeling the best. So I said I was coming back today, so I kind of fought through it. I'm still fighting the cold, but let me go to my channel to make sure you guys can hear me. And then I'll start reading. But again, thank you for chiming in. This is a new topic for people. I understand. Some people aren't interested in it, but I have to cover it. Hold on, let me go to my channel. Make sure y'all can hear it. Hold on, let me go to okay. All right, so let me pull this up. I need to make it bigger. Can y'all see that? I hate how it's lopsided. If I take that little piece off over there, y'all, it's like it's gonna mess it up. And I don't want to have to go through what I had to go through yesterday. Okay, so y'all can see that. Let me take me down. Okay. Why is it doing that? Oh, hold on. Let me stop sharing. I hate that when it does that. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I'm not in my studio. I didn't want to go in there. Into the room, aka the room with the with my monitor set up. All right, so I'm going over there. Let me put it back up here. Okay, you guys can see it. I took that down. We got that there. All right. Let me change this so it's not so crazy. All right, so I'm gonna start reading. Also, I forgot, donate to the channel if you can, so we can get more paperwork. Hold on. I'm gonna put that up there. So the information is on the bottom of the page. All right. All right, so I'm about to start reading, you guys. Let me pull that up. All right, so we left off at 5704. Okay, we did cheat yesterday, but we're gonna try and get through it. I'm gonna read what I can, then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, so we started with the foundation. This is like the beginning part where they're talking about, they were going back and forth talking about having the witnesses when they're testifying, different things about that. So here we go. It says, and foundation again is directed to, and again, I'm reading this how the words are on here. Sometimes it sounds like words are missing, but that's how they writing it. So that's what it is. And there's all these dashes and stuff in here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's like weird dashes that'll be in here. Okay, so it says, and foundation again is directed to so that everyone in the courtroom, including the jury, can judge whether it actually took place. I mean, imagine the trial that's going on down the hall. If they had said at some time while you were working on the post office project, did you have a meeting with Alderman Burke and Alderman Salas? Yes. And what was said at that meeting without saying it was in City Hall, it was at Solis' office, it was whatever, and who was present and all that. I see what they're saying. So they're basically wanting them to make, like I said yesterday, a summary of events. So it's better for the jury to understand, and also that the attorneys don't have to question every little bit and detail of what they're saying. So you have to start, if you missed yesterday, you have to go back and watch that to understand where we're at today. Okay. It says that's why they, oh Lord, I'm rusty. That's why they have to lay a foundation. So I just wanted to raise that, Judge. It's kind of a general proposition, Mr. Clean. And do I need to go back over who these? Well, no, I did that yesterday. Okay, so these are different attorneys talking. As you know, it's now 6 defendants that are sitting at that table now. Okay, so Mr. Clean and Judge, at the risk of sounding like an evidence teacher, if I can expand on Mr. Greenberg, realistically, foundation has to have who was present, where was the conversation, when was the conversation, and what was said for every single conversation. And that's so everybody in the court, including the jury, know what we're talking about, and so that everyone is on the same page with respect to what conversations are being talked about. We can't do that unless we lay a foundation with who was there, when was the conversation, where was the conversation, and what was said. And that's basic for every single conversation. Mr. Jillian, Judge, who issued a ruling? You found that the foundation was sufficient, number one. Number two, it was elicited for the first time on cross-examination when he started attending meetings. We talked about it on direct and redirect examination that it was after he shot at some opposing gang members for the first time. He said that was 2014 to 2015. On redirect, he said it could have been as late as 2016. But those things were elicited on direct and redirect examination. At the end of the day, if there's information that people want from a witness, they can ask questions to get it. So I'm not really sure why there's no live objection here, and anything you would have to say at this point would be advisory. Oh, he getting spicy. But you had issued a ruling when there was a live objection, overruling their objection to this. Mr. Greenberg, he was like, I love it. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Greenberg is R.Kelly's old attorney, and y'all already see he feisty. You see what I'm saying? He was cutting up and getting down on Kells, and he's something else, y'all. He said, I love it. When he likes the ruling, it's been ruled on, and that's it, and the end of the story for the rest of the trial. I like that approach. Judge, the fact is that there are rules of evidence. They have, we had another example yesterday where we didn't have any foundation for anything. And then we find out on cross-examination that the witness said he had heard it from somebody and somebody had told, and it was rank hearsay because there was no foundation, because there was no evidence establishing when the conversation took place, how it took place, and so forth. And he said, and that's just not how a trial is supposed to go. I realize that it will result in more tedious questioning, but that's the way it's supposed to be. They are the proponent of the they are the proponent of the information, and they are supposed to be putting the information out in accordance with the rules of evidence, which require that there are some foundation as to what occurred. Mr. Jillian. Okay, so Mr. Jillian, I'm understanding, is the government. So here's how I think a trial ought to go. The court rules, the people move on, whether they agree with the ruling or don't agree with it, because none of us are the court, including when Your Honor overruled our objection to the details about the cross-examination on the pending gun cases coming in. And I said, and I think this is a quote, well, let's just get on with it, because that's what people are supposed to do, accept the court rulings. And I said that yesterday. We are wasting time right now. We should be more productive with the time that we have while the jury is here in the building. I know we're waiting for I know we're waiting on copies, but there are other issues that we can discuss. And we spent the last 10 minutes discussing an academic proposition because there's no live objection, Your Honor. Mr. Kling. Judge, we wouldn't be wasting time if he had the discovery when we were supposed to get the discovery. Boy, they snapping. Oh, God. So from yesterday, you guys, if you guys weren't here, basically the government tried to sneak some information into the trial, and you know, basically the defendant's attorneys, they bucked. They was like, nah, we haven't seen this information and we want copies. So that's where they at right now. They trying to get copies of this new evidence that was submitted yesterday during the trial. Okay, but y'all got to go watch the video yesterday to hear exactly what happened. Mr. Jillian. Okay, and they had it on Sunday. People, it's clear from the index what it is. I mean, I've said enough about that, Your Honor. Mr. Greenberg, you know, I feel like I should be in one of those shows where someone is jumping from either side, like we were. He's stupid. Hold on, wait. Let me not laugh at this fool. Okay, Greenberg says, you know, I feel like I should be in one of those shows where someone is jumping from either side, like where they have where the defendant's cross-examination or examining himself on direct, and he's like asking the question at the podium and then going to the witness stand. Except I feel like Mr. Julian should be sitting on the side of the room, and then he should come over here and sit on our side of the room and represent our position on things. Ooh, Greenberg getting spicy. I mean, that's what I feel like. We're raising the issue, Judge. When they call the next witness, if they don't do what they think they should do, we're going to object again. I'm just raising the issues in effort to be more productive. The court. Yeah, I mean, I would have to pull up that exact Seventh Circuit case to get the exact quote, but and I understand that. I definitely see the point that you're making, Mr. Greenberg and Mr. Kling, and that if there were more specificity about when a particular meeting happened, it would facilitate, you know, cross. I guess the thing I have some difficult with though is I mean, it kind of depends on the context too. And so if you're talking about someone who I can't even come up with the hypothetical sitting right here. But, you know, if you're talking about I don't know, some situation where there was obviously a lot more like kind of formality or like rigid calendar, you know, regularity or whatever meetings, I think then that, I don't know, maybe you could reasonably require more precision in the setup of it. But I guess I don't know. If the government's theory is to, I'm sorry, but I guess I don't, if the government's theory is is it was less formal, then I don't know. I mean, I also, on the other thing, I just wonder, listening to the arguments, is that wouldn't those points be things that could be made in closing? You know, that those could all be points like, well, okay, you're going to, the government's going to argue that there's an enterprise. Well, what about the fact that, you know, and not, and I'm not saying, I'm not making a finding here. I'm just saying, like, why couldn't the argument be exactly what you said, Mr. Greenberg? Right. The lack of detail, I get that, Judge Court. This guy in North Dakota, he wasn't there, Mr. Greenberg. Right. Court. What meeting? He couldn't say. Reasonable doubt, etc., etc. Mr. Greenberg, no, I get that, but the purpose of the foundational requirements are to ensure that there is some reliability of the evidence. And I'm going to do a little research, Judge. It just was something I wanted to raise today. I hadn't researched. I'm going to do some research and see if I can find a case, since I don't have to look at Mr. Wiley's stuff anymore because I already looked at it. Oh, he is getting spicy. Of course, said, okay, no. And I also take the point that that sort of issue, it is hard to find a case on because it's very experience driven and it's very, I mean, Mr. Greenberg, frankly, it's a horn book issue, Judge. The court, exactly. Well, Mr. Greenberg, but the ruling you've made is not consistent with the horn book. So, but you're the judge. I get that, as Mr. Jillian said. So I'm going to see if I can find a better horn book, a more persuasive horn book. Miss Gischetti, I'm gonna call her Gischetti. I was killing it yesterday. I had the name all crazy. I'm sorry, I wasn't killing nobody. I was killing the name. Okay, so Judge, I need to go back to what's been produced here. I'm reading through materials relating to the 2008-2009 cooperation, and all the addresses have been redacted, and the addresses are crucial. I'm asking for unredacted. If there's some concern, I'll take it attorney's eyes only. But I need addresses. I've got to know what he's reporting. Miss Dumpf, just one? The court, okay. Actually, one case that could be worth looking at is AI Credit Corp versus Legion Insurance 265. And then they got some more stuff, which is the one that those criminal cases that the government cited were citing. So that says McPherson also suggests that Holsworth testimony about the conference call is inadmissible because Holsworth did not testify to a foundation, which McPherson insists entails specific testimony regarding the names of the participants and the date of the conversation. But no rule of evidence requires a foundation. Foundation is simply a loose term for preliminary questions designed to establish that evidence is admissible. See Black Law's Dictionary. Greenberg, right. Court, at trial, it is sometimes considered an orderly procedure to produce testimony that a conversation occurred at a particular time and place, and between the witness and someone else, before the witness is permitted to testify, the conversation's content. Hold on. Y'all, I got a cough. Hold on. Okay. Hey, Chatham. All right. I see you at work. Thanks for still coming in. Okay, I'm about to finish reading, you guys. Okay, the federal rules of evidence provide that relevant evidence is generally admissible. See Rule 402. And McPherson does not contend that Holsworth testimony is irrelevant. We find no reason, relevance, or otherwise why the testimony should be excluded. Though Holdsworth's testimony regarding the identity of AI credit representatives and the date of the conversation was inexact, it was specific enough to demonstrate the conversation's occurrence and relevance. And then Rule 401, evidence is relevant if that bears on the existence of any fact of consequence to the determination of the action. So I guess it's saying, I mean, if the argument is there was so little, it was so vague about when this conversation happened or who was there, or that we don't even know whether it occurred at all, and that's a bar to any further testimony about the conversation, then I do not think it's a kind of it's definitely sort of a case by case call on what type of conversation we're talking about. It was very inexact, like here, fairly inexact. But I think there's at least enough there for the jury, if it wanted, to find the conversation occurred. I mean, beyond that, I don't know. It's inexact, but Mr. Greenberg, okay, I'm sorry, but it's inexact. But then Greenberg hops in and says, Judge, what was the site of that case? And then they said, the court says 265, and they tell what the court is. Greenberg says, thank you, the court. I mean, it does say at trial, it is sometimes considered an orderly procedure to produce testimony that a conversation occurred in a particular time and place and between the witness and someone else before the witness is permitted to testify to the conversation's content. And I think that, that is true. For all the reasons you were given, that would be a more orderly if there's a little bit more information about that. So I guess I would ask the government, and I was kind of trying to, during the prior testimony, to ask for some more of that. So to the extent the government's able to do that, then please do that. But I don't think there was a problem, an actual problem with the last testimony. I think it could be more orderly if there is a little bit more detail. Mr. Greenberg, thank you, Judge. Sorry, Jason. Court, okay. The other thing I would mention is just that AI Credit Corp is dealing with a specific conversation. And Sloan, in contrast, was just asked general points. He did not focus on a particular critical conversation without telling us about it. He was just asked general questions and gave general answers. And based on his background and his testimony, that he was very involved with Oblock at different points. I would say there's enough basis to conclude that this testimony on general points was reliable. Now, I guess that's sort of a chicken and egg thing, because, you from the defense perspective would say, well, the problem is the general quality of the questions and the corresponding general quality of the answers. But it also seems to me that ultimately could be more of a, that's something that gets the quality of the proof and could be addressed in closing too, if that's what people choose to do. Okay, so does everyone have copies now? Barnett, yes. The court, okay. Mr. Kling, just so you're clear, Judge, it's roughly 3/4 of an inch thick of paperwork that we're going to go through right now. Miss Dump, Judge, it's very substantive. Substantive, and a lot of it we have not seen. Mr. Spiegelfogel, Mr. Spielfogel, just going through this, leaping through it, I see the first thing I look at, he's lying to probation officers. I don't want to comment until I've gone through, but it's just Miss Dump. It's substantive. Oh my God. Let me just say it again. It's substantive and necessary for the defense. Court, let's do, okay. So I think the first step is to why don't we take 10 minutes? And if the government can, please, in that time, try to identify specifically when some of this was produced previously, and just let us know that information. And in the meantime, the defense can also have 10 minutes to look at it and then talk again about how to move forward. In the meantime, I think I will. Well, we are ready to tell, we are ready to tell the jury how late it's going to be, or maybe just to do in the next 10 minutes and then get back to them. Miss Dom, well, Judge, are you saying in 10 minutes you want us to absorb all of this? The court says no. I'm just saying in 10 minutes we talk again about what's going to be the plan. Miss Dump, that's fine, Mr. Kling. Judge, if you're going to allow us the time to review this, then obviously it's going to be a while for the jury. So whatever your pleasure, but we're still going to need time to review the materials now or in 10 minutes. Oh, he's being spicy. Okay. Court, I guess in 10 minutes, I would like to get a better, more accurate estimate for the jury of how long it's going to be when we need them. So we can try to do that right now, but it sounds like people are just sort of throwing out impressions from the documents. I would like if everyone could do a little bit faster of a skim through it, and then Miss Giachetti, Judge, I could tell you based on what I'm looking at, and I'm doing the first cross-examination, there's no way that I can digest this, and frankly, there are things redacted in here that they obviously know are important that were redacted. I can't be ready to cross-examine. So I will tell you right now that I can't cross-examine it. The way it's structured, I go first. And so there will be no way that the defense can. Defense attorneys can say I'm wrong, but there's no way the defense can possibly be ready to competently cross-examine this witness. And so I tell you that right now, unless somebody on this group here is going to tell me wrong, Barnett says no. Miss Giachetti. So I think we should start with that proposition and then perhaps take 10 minutes to figure out what our next position is. But I'm very clear about what I'm going through here is very substantive. I can't speak today. I can't really say that word. Okay. Very important. Exactly what I predicted was going to be in here. Oh, wait, I missed something. Yeah, she said exactly what I predicted was going to be in here. And I have only gotten through probably the first 22 pages. Mr. Hennessy, Your Honor, if I could add a little detail here. So Mr. Wiley's CHS file is about 160 pages. 75 or so pages of the 75 or so pages of that comprise criminal history reports for unrelated individuals that are wholly irrelevant to anything that's going on here. Any materials related to Mr. Wiley's status as a CHS in either 2022 or 2023. The more recent items that we've discussed this morning are duplicative of items that the defense has already had. The stuff related to 2008 and 2011, which I think is the crux of what Miss Giachetti and the other counsels over there wanted, is limited. I understand that everyone needs time to look at this, and it's just my word. I don't think this is a particularly long review because I went through it yesterday. Miss Giachetti, do you know how to prepare cross-examination, Mr. Hennessy? I don't think you do. They getting spicy. I don't just sit and read and then stand up and flail around with a piece of paper, okay? I've spent probably 60 hours on this cross-examination already, and that is another 10 hours of it in order to put it in that way that I can be meaningful, acceptable, evidentiary, and make sense. No, I don't care. It is ridiculous to make that argument that we should just be doing this on the fly on a case where our clients are facing life without parole. Woo! Whoa! Hold on now. Dang! Did y'all hear that? They is getting it in. Mr. Barnett. That's obvious, Judge. They said a life without. They facing life without, y'all. Man. Mr. Barnett. That's obvious, Judge. This is obvious, Judge. It is really. It's obvious. Mr. Spiefogel. If I could just add, this is the book of the reports that I had on Mr. Riley. Again, like I'm telling you guys, these attorneys are setting up for, if these guys get prosecuted, to set up an appeal. Okay, they're doing things, acting like it's all, confusing. They didn't get the evidence in time. You see what I'm saying? That's a ground that they can appeal on. Okay, so number 6, if I could just add, this is the book of the reports that I had on Mr. Wiley. Describe it. Mr. Spiefogel. I'm sorry, Miss Dump said, describe it. Mr. Spiefogel said, well, it's about what is 2 inches thick. It's got all the dates of all the reports that I used before Julian told us that he would not be identifying our client at all. There was a long period there where I needed to prepare cross-examination for this witness, and probably spent about 75 hours doing that. I've just sat here and looked through these reports, and I know that Mr. Hennessy is not purposely stating anything that isn't accurate. I've seen one report after the other that is not in here, and they're substantive. They're issues that go on to his entire Miss Dump truthfulness, Mr. Spiegel, his entire role as an informant, and they're in here. Ooh, y'all hear that? They just, it looks like they tried to add in information about him being an informant. You see what I'm saying? Watch these. I'm telling y'all, pay attention. The same thing they did yesterday. This is a continuous, but they get more detailed. Mr. Spiefogel, his entire role as an informant, and they're in here. There's no way on God's green earth that a defense attorney to get handed this as the witness is walking into the courtroom and say, okay, go ahead and cross-examine. There's no way there can be cross-examination today. And I don't know how much time Miss Giachetti is going to need to prepare to cross, because she is doing the lead cross on this. And as she said, I know she's spending hours and hours on it. And then to get handed this is it's amazing. Miss Borman, Judge, just a technical issue. Listen. So I'm looking at the reports, and as I indicated, there's an additional identification of my client in a place in the Camtasia's video where there had not been one before. Because of the internet situation, I have no access to the Camtasia video. So I need to review it, and I need to review it with my client. That's going to take some time. I have to go back to the office, upload it, figure out the time to meet with my client, review it, and that's what we're talking about. Court. Okay. I wanted to just pause for a few minutes so that people can develop these thoughts a little bit more. So let's pause. You can think and just formulate your impressions for the next Why don't we do 5 minutes at this point? Because we just spent some more time arguing about it. So let's talk again in 5 minutes. In that time, if the government, what I would like to hear from the government, if possible, is some specificity about, maybe down to base numbers, on which things on which things were produced before and when, if that's feasible. And that will help us nail down what is actually new and what is not new. And then we can move forward from there. So like we said yesterday, you guys, they, by them giving them this additional evidence during a trial, the attorneys are trying to say that it could be a violation. It could be Brady material, Giglio material, and 3500 material, which is basically supposed to be given to the client, to the defense attorneys prior to the trial. So, which is another grounds, for appeal. Let me come over there and see how y'all doing. So, all right, you guys, let's see. Hey, Clarence. Hey, Sugar. All right, you guys, I can't see what y'all are typing. I have to come back over here to this screen. Miss Lady T. Hey, girl. All right. So I'm going back over there. And we're going to finish reading. We're trying to get through this, y'all. Let's see. Okay. If the government, wait, where was we at? If the government, what I would like to hear, okay, we read that, if feasible, and that will help us nail down. Okay, so like I said, they're trying to, the government, same thing they did in the Kels case. They tried to give him discovery during a trial, and the same thing, they're not trying to tell them what's new information and what's old information. They just handed them some papers and expected them to cross-examine Mr. Wiley off the hip, and they bucking. They like, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so in at 10:20, I will just resume conversation. Mr. Clean, Judge, we're going to adjourn to the council room if we may. Miss Giachetti, the closest is the little small one for us. Court, okay. Miss Giachetti, so we're going to go out to the room. Recess. Then it says court. All right. Are we ready to resume? We are, Mr. Julian. We are. From the government's perspective, Your Honor. Court, any updates on Mr. Spiefogel? Yes. Court, on this, Mr. Boyle. Judge, the defense attorneys did confer, and I think we have a consensus, and I think that consensus was related to the government's attorney, and I think there's an agreement. The idea is that to respect the jury's time, the government would be allowed to call Mr. Wiley on direct, but with the understanding and agreement that because of the need for discovery review and the possibility that said review of this discovery might make necessary. That's what it says, might make necessary obtaining additional documents, which we will try to do as quickly as possible, that the defense cross will begin the earliest on Monday. Okay, so that's why the cross was pushed till Monday, you guys, because they snuck that evidence in there and they had to get time. The attorneys took time to read it and review it and pull documentation. Okay, but that is the hope and that's the plan. Mr. Julian, agreed. The court, okay, great. All right, well, thank you everyone for working that out. It sounds like then we just need to address the immunity for Mr. Wiley, and then we could bring the jury in. Is that right? Does anyone need to take further break before we proceed with all that? Mr. Jillian, we do not. Miss Giachetti, just 5, Judge. The court, okay, actually, let me, on the foundation point, I have been thinking about a little bit. I still think that under that AI credit case, what the government brought out was enough for foundation. In other words, I don't think they're required to give for every single conversation, specific testimony about the names of participants and the date of the conversation. But I do think that just in the terms of it is more orderly if that kind of information comes out on direct. I guess I would just encourage the government to do a little bit more of that than before. More for the orderly presentation than, because I think it actually is required for the evidence to be reliable enough to be considered by the jury. So I guess I don't find a problem with the prior testimony. I just think it would be a little bit helpful if there's some additional kind of tying us to particular time periods or people where possible. Mr. Jillian, yes, Your Honor. I think she said this, Mr. Jillian says, yes, Your Honor. This, I think, is we're not going to have, it's my prediction, this disagreement. As far as the scope of this witness's direct examination, and it will be shorter and more limited in a number of areas. So I don't think the issue is going to present itself. Court, okay, Mr. Jillian, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the issue is going to crop up. Court, okay. I think a couple of people did request a short break, like a 5-10 minute break. And then Mr. Wiley, we do the immunity with Mr. Wiley. Mr. Jillian, in the meantime, yes, Your Honor, we'll locate him and make sure he's here. Court, okay, great, thank you. Okay, let the jury know it will be about 10 minutes. Thanks. Okay, they take a recess. Okay, we're ready for the witness. Mr. Jillian, yes, Your Honor. Mr. Boyle, I know Mr. Greenberg was getting a coffee. He should be here any minute. Court, okay, thanks. Good morning, sir. So they bringing him in. So we about to read. We read this yesterday, but we about to read it again. Woo, that was a lot of reading before we got to this point, y'all. Hold on, let me take a sip. Okay. Hold on, let me sit up because I forgot. He was cussing. So I got to try and get in character. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Court. Okay, are you ready for the witness, Mr. Jillian? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Boyle. Okay, wait, no, I already read that. Court. Okay, good morning, sir. The witness, good morning. The clerk, can you stand and raise your right hand? Witness sworn. The clerk, can you state your name for the court reporter, please? The witness, Martell Wiley. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. The court, first, I would like to go through some questions with you. So I'm going to enter an order basically on the same issues that I'm about to ask you about. But I just wanted to let you know that you are under this order that I'm going to enter. You are required to testify here today. Do you understand that? Witness, yes, ma'am. Court, and you previously indicate, okay, so basically this is the witness and Mr. Wiley, and you should be able to tell by the way I'm reading it, who is it? And sometimes I throw it in, but I don't want to keep saying witness, court, okay? So we can get through this. I'll get through most of this. Okay, so I'm going to enter. Are you required to testify here today? Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. And you previously indicated that in the appearance in court here, you may assert your privilege against self-incrimination. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So you will not be excused from testifying here on the basis that the testimony may tend to incriminate you. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And so you mean when you say, can you clarify that? He caught it. You see what I'm saying? He actually caught what she said. Smart guy. Because she said, she kind of messed it up. She said, okay, let's go back to it. She said, so you will not be excused from testifying here on the basis that the testimony may tend to incriminate you. Do you understand that? She said it wrong, but just listen. And he actually caught it. You know, he's not stupid. He said, you mean when you say, can you clarify that? He caught it. Sure, okay. So as you're testifying, so you're going to be required to testify today. You understand that? He said, yes, ma'am. The court. And you are required to testify without further asserting here today your privilege against self-incrimination. So you are required to testify without asserting that privilege against self-incrimination. Do you understand that? Again, he's questioning it again. So you're saying I don't have to incriminate myself, or I do? The court. I'm saying you have to testify without asserting your privilege. So you have the privilege against self-incrimination. Witness. Okay. But you cannot assert it. Okay. You have to testify without asserting that privilege. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am. And at the same time, no testimony. That's because I'm requiring you to testify here today without asserting that privilege against self-incrimination. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. At the same time, no testimony that I'm requiring you to give today may be used against you in a criminal case. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. That's the part I believe he was looking for, because ain't nobody dumb enough to sit up there and talk and not even get no immunity. Okay. Accept a prosecution for perjury or giving a false statement. So in other words, if you perjure yourself, if you give a false statement, there could be a prosecution for that. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. But other than that sort of prosecution, any testimony that you give here today, you cannot assert your privilege against self-incrimination, but that testimony cannot be used against you in any criminal case. Yes, ma'am, except for the perjury prosecution. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Have you had a chance to discuss this testimony here? The matters I've just gone through with you, have you had a chance to discuss that with a lawyer? Like, what are you, can you clarify that? Like, are you saying that I discussed it with an attorney, like a private attorney? Do you have a lawyer representing you? No. Okay. I feel like with this, I don't need a lawyer to tell the truth. Well, it's good that you are required to tell the truth. Witness, yes. So that's good. And okay, do you have any other questions about what I just asked you? All the questions I just asked you? No, ma'am. I don't care what he's talking about. You don't go and testify in court without no attorney. Okay, telling the truth, whatever. You always have an attorney. Okay. The only way you don't have an attorney is if you ain't got no money for one. Okay. But other than that, you always have an attorney. I had to put a little break in there. Okay. So, okay. And did anyone threaten you to get you to testify here today? No, ma'am. Or to not assert your privilege against self-incrimination? Did anyone threaten you in any way? No, ma'am. Okay, all right. So with that, I think we can proceed. All right. So what's going to happen now is we'll go into your testimony, and I'm going to ask first for the jury to come back, to come into the courtroom. Actually, before we do that, anyone have any questions or want to go to a sidebar at all? Mr. Jillian, no, Your Honor. Court, okay. Miss Giacchetti, no, Judge. Court, so we're ready for the jury, please. Thank you. All rise. Jury enters the courtroom. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We're going to continue with the testimony. The government may call its next witness. Mr. Julian, thank you, Your Honor. The government calls Martell Wiley to the stand. Witness sworn. Martell Wiley, government's witness, duly sworn. Direct examination by Mr. Jillian. Okay, so Mr. Jillian, now it's Mr. Jillian and Martell. Good morning, Mr. Wiley. Good morning. Would you please state your name and spell your name? Martell Wiley, Martellwiley. How old are you? I'm 39. Mr. Wiley, are you a black disciple? No. Were you a black disciple? Yes, I was. When were you a black disciple? Since I was 15, 2000, like something like that shit. 98, 99, from 98 and 99 until when? Until I end up getting shot at 15. Before I went to the joint, did my 4 years. Have you ever lived in Parkway Gardens? Yes, sir. When did you live in Parkway Gardens? 06, 07, 08, 9, 10, and then got into, I'm sorry, and then got into it over some miscellaneous shit. And then, I mean, stuff, sorry. And I end up moving out. Do you remember what year it was you moved out? Yeah, the end of 10, 2011. Like, it was the end, like, right on the border of December. Okay. So the end of 2010, early 2011, maybe. Yep. Okay. Where did you move after you left Parkway Gardens? I went I went to the other side. I went on the other side. When I say other side, that's in quotes. I mean, they call it Tukaville, STL, whatever. Like, I moved over there not because I was joining them, but because, like, the low end is over there. Like, I'm from the low end, but everybody from the project building on both sides. So, and I'm going to ask, okay, so let me stop right there. So, for those of you who do not know, he's from the low end of Chicago, and they're going to explain to you where the low end is. And what he is saying was the other guys that are over there on STL area are also from the low end. Because I remember Mama Duck saying they was from the projects, I believe the IB Well projects as well, down there on the low end. So he was just saying he was going over there because basically that's the area people that moved there. Because you guys, they tore those projects down. So that's why those people had to they had to relocate in Chicago. So when they tore down the big buildings, they also tore down, they had IB Wells got tore down too. Okay, question. And I'm going to ask you some more questions about that in more detail in a minute. But generally speaking, are we talking about somewhere close by? Yeah. Only thing separate that is King Drive. Mr. Wiley, do you have information about the Black Disciples, something called Oblock, and some of its members? Depends on what you're referring to. Do you know some Oblock people? Yeah. Is that what you're here to talk about? Yeah. So now I want to kind of back up a little bit. And I read this part yesterday, you guys. So that's why I'm kind of going through it without doing my commentary. I did my commentary on this yesterday. Okay, what is Newtown? Newtown is on the low end. That's where I was from. I'm not from there anymore, but that's where I was from. That's where I grew up at. Yeah. So for people who may not be familiar with that part of Chicago, do you mean when you say low end? What do you mean when you say low end? The low end from 22nd to 55th, state to the lake, east side, y'all. I added that. And that generally a reference to the projects. I'm sorry. And is that generally a reference to project buildings? Yeah. That used to exist when the projects was up? Yeah. I'm sorry, he said when the projects was up. Yeah. They're not up anymore? No. So you said from 22nd to about 55th. Yeah, state to the lake. State Street or to Lake, I'm sorry, he said straight State Street to Lake Michigan. Yep. And where's Newtown within the low end? It was on in between Cottage Grove and Lake Park to the lake, from like Cottage Grove to the lake. So Ellis, Lake Park from 35th to 39th. So you got Cottage Grove and the west, and I'm sorry, on the west, and the lake on the east. Yep. And you said 35th on the north end of about 39th. Yep. Okay. Take 39, I'm sorry, to 39 south. And I think you just told us you became a black disciple in the late 90s. Yeah, like late, like, yeah, probably like you could claim anything you want to, bro. But unless you know your shit, like, unless you know, like, you know what you into, like, you ain't nothing. You just somebody claiming something. You know, I got older. I seen it as I went. So I'm sorry. I seen it as it went on. You know, I got older and shit stuff. My fault. So just kind of backing up, let's talk about the time frame first. Late 90s is when you became a BD. Yeah. And what do you mean? I'm sorry. And what do you mean people just claim stuff? Where were you a BD or were you just claiming it? I mean, you just when you grow up in the city, like you ain't even gotta be no gang member, but like if you if another side you went to another side, you could just be living over there and get killed. Like they come through, you could just get killed because you over there. Okay, that's not the answer to that question, but I'm gonna keep reading. So that's why most people join gangs is for protection, you know. Man, let's read that again. Basically, he didn't even answer that question. Hold on, y'all. I got a call. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Did y'all hear that? He basically, and I didn't catch that yesterday. He slid through that question. This guy was basically asking him, the question was, and what do you mean? I'm sorry, and what do you mean people just can claim it? He says, were you a BD or were you just claiming it? And this was his answer. I mean, you just, when you grow up in the city, like, you ain't even got to be no gang member. But like, if another side, you went to another side, you could just be living over there and get killed. Like they come through, you you would just get killed because you over there. So that's why most people join gangs is for protection, you know, hiding behind the mob, what they called it. Did you join the gang? Yeah, I joined. I did join. He look, the attorney caught it. He not stupid. He asked him, were you a full-fledged BD? And then he came and said, yeah. So when we talk about Newtown, is that like one of Chicago's 77 district neighborhoods, or is that something different? Yeah. What is it? It's one of the neighborhoods. When you joined BDs, was Newtown a BD area or was it something else? Yeah, when I joined it was BDs, but before me, like all the people was GD. All right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you some more questions about Newtown momentarily, but there are a couple of things I want to go through with you first. Have you received immunity prior to testifying here today? No, sir. Mr. Jillian, Your Honor, can we have a sidebar? Witness, oh, excuse me. I mean, my mind is just everywhere, man. So can you said what? Mr. Jillian, let me ask a question a different way. Did the judge instruct you some things prior to you testifying before this jury? She said I had to assert myself. That's what if that's what you're referring to. Did the judge tell you that nothing that you would say to this jury can be used against you in a criminal prosecution and summary? Yes. And what and that you can't assert a Fifth Amendment privilege not to incriminate yourself? Yes. Unless you lie, I'm sorry, unless you tell a lie. Yes. Okay. You understand all of that? Yes. Okay. Prior to the jury and stuff like that, yeah. Mr. Greenberg, objection, judge. Unless you tell a lie, the witness. I didn't understand what he was saying. It was moving too fast. Court, okay. Let's just go on the sidebar really quick. Greenberg. Well, proceedings heard at sidebar. Mr. Greenberg said, I think Mr. Jillian misstated what you said. And the witness says now that we're talking too fast or he was talking too fast. But he said that he couldn't assert his Fifth Amendment unless he was telling a lie or something like that. The court. I think that, see, that's why he needs to have his own attorney, because his own attorney needs to be sitting there making sure that his rights are not violated in that courtroom and then later on down the line. It's kind of like Mr. Greenberg is sticking up, kind of, speaking for him. The court. I think there was, in the end, what he said was correct. But the immunity is you must testify. You cannot assert the Fifth Amendment. Your testimony cannot be used against you in a criminal case. Okay, y'all get that? They saying the immunity is you must testify, and you cannot assert the Fifth Amendment. Your testimony cannot be used against you in any criminal case. Okay, so Mr. Greenberg, unless you lie, court, unless you lie, and that's the perjury prosecution. I think that's basically what he just said right now, Mr. Greenberg. But he said he didn't understand him, so it doesn't matter. I objected. He's got to. The witness just said he didn't understand what Mr. Jillian said. Miss Giachetti, it's actually technically wrong. You keep the immunity, but you can be prosecuted for perjury. They can put what you say in the perjury case, but the way it sounded like a proffer letter. A proffer letter, they say. They'll say to you, it's protected unless you lie, and then all deals are off. That's not really what immunity is. So I don't understand where Mr. Jillian was going, but the way it came out, I think it was not quite accurate. What you say cannot be used against you except in prosecution for perjury is a little different than someone you get immunity, and if you lie, all bets are off. I know that's technical, but I think that's what Mr. Greenberg is reacting to also. So basically, you guys, we talked about this yesterday, and I'll go over it again. She's saying basically you get immunity, and immunity is different from the prosecution of perjury. So you get immunity, and as long as you tell the truth, then you won't later on be prosecuted in any type of court for the information that you're providing today. So let's go forward. Mr. Jillian, I can rephrase the question in that way, Your Honor. That's fine. That was the intent of Miss Giachetti. That's what I assume. Court. Okay, all right. Thank you. Proceedings heard in open court by Miss Jillian. Are you a little nervous, Mr. Wiley? I mean, I'm all these people up in here. This ain't everyday. This ain't everyday thing for me, Understood. I want to make sure I'm clear in what I had asked you. Do you understand that the judge instructed you that nothing you say here can be used against you except for in a prosecution for jury? I'm sorry, a prosecution for perjury? He said yes. Okay. Prior to being here, prior to you testifying to this jury, have you been convicted of some felonies? No. Prior to me being here today? I'm sorry, he said prior to me being here today? Yes. Yeah, I've been convicted of felonies in the past. Okay. Yeah. All right. I want to talk about a few of them. Okay. And I want to go back about a decade because there are a few of them. Fair? Yep. Was one of them for obstruction of justice? Yes, sir. And was that offense in approximately July of 2012? Yes, sir. What happened there? You won't believe it if I told you. It's a movie. I was in Danville and the police they was looking for chasing somebody who was 6'1", bald-headed, light-skinned. They grabbed me and asked my name, my whole name, and they said, "What's your initial?" I said, "Why?" And I went to jail for obstruction. And my middle initial is Y. Were you sentenced ultimately for 2 years of probation and 131 days in jail? Yes. And did you violate your probation on that case in about May of 2015 on the Danville case on the obstruction? Yes. Yes. Were you sentenced to an additional 2 years of probation and some more days in jail? Yes. Do you have another felony conviction for this time 2 counts, one of them aggravated domestic battery and this separate count of aggravated domestic battery? Yes, sir. And was that about July of 2014? Yes, sir. What happened there? Being broke. When you in poverty, people like your spouse drink and you ain't got no money, man. When there ain't no money, it's poverty. I see it now because I got a wife and married. We don't argue or none of that. So it was poverty. Were you ultimately sentenced to 3 years in prison and 24 months of probation for that offense? Yes, sir. Was your probation revoked on that offense in about January of 2017? Yes, sir. Do you have another felony conviction for obstructing justice? This time, roughly August of 2016? Yes, sir. What happened there? The police had came up to me when I got off the bus in Decatur, and they like, "We got a call on you. You're a suspect. You fit the description." I took off on them. They tried to tase me. I took off running. Did you throw something or get rid of something when you were running? Yeah, I threw a gun. They never recovered it though. Were you sentenced to 2 years in prison as a result of that? Yep. Oh, it was added on to what I had going on already. It was added onto the sentence. Later on, were you arrested for manufacturing and delivering dangerous drugs in about 2019? I took that case. I took it. I didn't serve. I don't sell drugs. And I took the case because I was on parole. What do you mean when you say you took the case because you were on parole? I was in a car with somebody in Bloomington and they got kids and shit. And they told me I was going to jail anyway. So I said, fuck it, it's mine. I mean, excuse my French. I'm just from the streets too. Try to recover that. Were you sentenced to 30 months of probation as a result of that? Yes, sir. Mr. Wiley, right. As you sit here right now, do you have an active case pending in Minnesota? I got an active case pending in Minnesota, but they confused about it. Like I've never been to Rochester, so they confused about it. What do you mean when you say they're confused about it? Like when I went there, they just released me. So I want to talk about you saying when you went there. A couple of years ago, did some FBI agents take you up to Minnesota to turn yourself in and clear up that situation? Yeah. Did you do that? Yeah. Do you know why there's a warrant out for you on that case right now and then? Yeah, a friend, a person who you think your friend and shit. They know your information, they dupe them and end up getting off with it, and the warrant was stuck. I just got to clear it up. Like, I didn't told them it wasn't me, like that shit. They let me write. They let me write out though. So you said you got to clear it up. Are you going to get that taken care of? Yeah. I missed court because I was with you guys. I missed court when I was in grand jury. Are you going to get that warrant situation taken care of? Yeah. It ain't me. It ain't me. Yeah. I don't run from anyone. I face my fears now. I ain't in no gangs. I got kids. I got something to live for. So yeah, I will be cleaning up all of that. I'm going to change gears a little bit. Have you ever received compensation for providing information to law enforcement in this case? He said, yes, yes. I received compensation, but I was like, I'm sorry, but it was like travel and stuff like that. I have my own income. I make money on YouTube, plenty of it. Have you received from law enforcement $24,963,000? I can't recall that. I can't even tell you that. Like, I don't know who came up with the prices and anything. I need to see a receipt. Does that number sound about right? I don't know. I can't even tell you, Jason. Mr. Wiley. And that's for providing information in this case. Did you provide information to law enforcement at different times in the past unrelated to this case? 06, I got bumped with another member and shit. Yeah. When you say a number member, what do you mean? It was somebody in the car with us. Like, we got pulled over. They got locked up for guns and shit. Like, all type of shit. It was hectic that day. And what about in 2011? I don't remember no 2011. I don't remember these days. Like 2011 shit. I was in Parkway then. I was in jail for domestics and all type of shit. Like, I don't remember that. Like, where all this coming from? I don't know. I got to do my research. Okay. I want to ask you about YouTube. Yes, sir. Mr. Wiley, have you a presence? I'm sorry, he says you have a presence online. It's a bit of an understatement. Is that fair? That's an understatement. I'm Michael Jordan on YouTube. What do you do on YouTube? I blog. I talk against gangs. I tell the kids they mind is they mind. They are somebody. Court reporter clarification. Witness. I tell the kids they mind is they mind. They don't need a gun. You can use your mind without a gun. And they are somebody. So yeah, I tell them that. Again, like I stated yesterday, the court reporter got that information wrong. What he actually says, I tell the kids that they mind is they 9, meaning 9mm. So meaning that their mind, use their mind instead of using a gun. Okay. So the court reporter, she didn't understand what he was saying, but once again, we're reading what the transcripts say, but I just wanted you guys to know exactly what statement it is that he actually makes in real life. Okay, Mr. Jillian, when did you start posting on YouTube? 2021. Did you start posting on YouTube before or after you started providing information? Yeah, before. I was already screen recording and doing all that. Like, I was on there already. Do you have or do you go by a specific name online? Yes. What is it? Some call me Trenches News. Some call my swiper. I'm saying, he says, some call my swiper. Some call me the GOAT. Some call me, they just got different names. Mr. Miyagi. I go by different names. Captain Planet. Swiper. You spell with 2 P's. Yep. SWIPPER. Yep. Question. Trenches News. What's Trenches News? Is that a name of your channel? Is that the name of your channel? Is that your name? Yeah, it's the name of my channel. From 2021 to now, about how many videos would you say you posted on YouTube? I got the Trenches News channel, got about 1,800 videos. I deleted a lot. I deleted like, I had to delete like 50 million views. So I have about 80 million within 2 years. Generally speaking, is one of the things that you talk about on YouTube, gangs in Chicago. Yeah, I talk against them now. I let them know like they're real. You go to jail, ain't nobody looking out for you, ain't only nobody sending you nothing, only the girls you who with you, if they with you, your mom, your sister. Like nobody send me nothing. Every time I went to jail, like it seems always excuse. Oh man, I'm sorry, out of sight, out of mind for real. That's what that means. Do you talk about your past gang life? Oh yeah. I tell them I got shot. I tell them like the robbery stories. If you go to my page, you're going to see like I tell them everything I've been through. I don't have nothing, nothing. Domestics and everything. The 3 years that I did, the 3 to 4 years I did was the best time of my life. I got time to get in tune with myself. And when I came out, I told myself that I ain't no streets. Get your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the business, stand on business, and that's what I did. You also say some pretty wild stuff online. Is that fair? I mean, can you clarify that? Like inflammatory stuff? Like, can you clarify that? Break it down. Do you talk bad about people online? No, probably gang members. Do you talk bad about gang members? Yeah, yeah. I talk bad about them. I shame them. I bash them. I do all that. Yeah, Why do you do that? Because like when I try to get my message across, like if you standing outside on them blocks from 12 years old to 30, you ain't made it no real life. That's insanity. And I was doing that. I had to realize like all the time that I wasted, like I got to get in tune with my kids now. I got to figure out what they like now. I got to, I got to do double time. And then ain't no 401k plan in this. So while you out here playing in the field when you got 40 and 50 of them pills and all that shit, you gonna need them. You know what? He says, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna need medicine. You ain't gonna have it because you wasted your life in the streets. So it's better to get you a job. It's cool to work. It's She puts cook. It's cook to work a 9 to 5 or whatever you got to support your family. Is some of that some of what you do online as Trenches News and what you post on your channel for entertainment value? When it get dry, when it get dry, when I'm sorry, we call a thing called clickbait. I might I might call somebody up and be like, oh man, let's say we into it. And then, we have some fake words. Oh, you this, you that. And then it go up 100,000, 200,000 views. It's just a clickbait. Y'all hear that? Did you all hear that? So basically what he's saying is the beef sells. He calls people and sets up fake beefs. They have a fake altercation online and it runs his views up 100 to 200K. Okay, let me finish reading. But all my stories are real. All my stories that I do, like my story times and all that, they real life. When you say into it with somebody, what do you mean by that? Like, for instance, I don't want to bring up no names, but like, for instance, it was this one guy, he be on YouTube doing interviews. I know his whole family, his mom and them, you know, we were from the low end. We had got into it, but we weren't really into it because I know his family, you know. So the internet, you and him into it. I'm sorry. So to the internet, oh, you and him into it. No, we ain't into it. That's my family. Like he might say something about my wife, but it was all playing. He don't know my wife, so it was playing. Question. So I want to move away from YouTube, at least temporarily, and come back to Newtown when you first became a member of the BDs. How old were you when you first became a BD? When I first became a BD, I was 15, 14, 15, something like that. Were you in school? Yeah, I was in school. I was in school. You know, I was glad that, like, then the gang members, it's different. It's different timing. Like, they force you to go to school. You ain't go to school. As he said, you ain't go to school, you couldn't do nothing. Like you can just go and slide on. Wait a minute. He said, like, you can just go and slide on no block and kill nobody, like you probably be dead. You can't kill no kid without no, they make you turn yourself in. So it was rules. It was rules and regulations, man. They ain't got no rules now. Question. What kind of rules and regulations did you, by the way, did you refer to it as like the Newtown set or faction of the BDs? Did you call it something different? What did you call it? You saying, were you, I'm sorry, where you were, what did you call it? The Newtown BDs? I mean, Newtown, just the name of the projects. That ain't no member name or none of that. That's just the name of the projects, Newtown. Question. So, what types of rules and regulations are you talking about? Are you talking about Newtown rules or are we talking about BD rules? Answer. He says life rules. Like shit. That's supposed to happen. Like, I wouldn't say that's a BD rule. I wouldn't say that's a GD rule. Like, you supposed to tell the kids to go to school. You see a kid disrespecting his mama, you supposed to get up on him. Like, you supposed to whoop him. Like, when I was growing up, the community, if you don't get whipped by your mama, you're gonna get whipped by your neighbor. So I respect all of that. And he ain't lying about that. And I ain't even know he was old enough to experience that. But he ain't lying about that. Like I tell you guys all the time. Communities with different neighborhoods was different and gang structure was different back in the day. Did you all have any sorts of guidelines though? Like literature, paper you're supposed to read? Yeah. And that's why these guys are misled and do anything. They don't know their paperwork. If you, it's a rule to the road, like the rules to the road, to the cars, to the book. It's rules to the road. If you understand those rules, you will move better. You will move right. But by them not learning, not understanding, see, you can learn something and memorize something, but to understand it, to understand what those words mean, you know, and that's the difference. I understood what they mean, though. I understood it. Are you talking about BD specific paperwork? Yeah. Any paperwork. BD, yeah. We're talking about specific BD right now. But any paperwork. If you read the policies and procedures, it teach you. It's not made for what people in the streets think it is. So right now, I'm asking specifically about the time period when you first became BD. So late 90s, early 2000s. Yep. What was the relationship like between did BDs and GDs at that time at that period of time? At that time, at that period of time, depending on where you at, if you on the streets, then we was into it. But if you're in jail, it was one love. Why would it be different if you were in the streets versus if you were in jail? Man, you know what, Jason? I try to figure it all out, figure it out all the time. Like, how can they go to jail and kick it, but kill each other on the street? It don't make no sense to me. Like, I never understood it. I never understood it. I can't even explain that to you. Like, how it can be one love and then on the streets, y'all. I never understand it. It's a snake move to me. It's just to figure out the person, get information while you in there on the person. It's like a backdoor move. So that's why I'm out the gang today. When what he said, what do you mean when you say backdoor? It's trying to figure out your moves and trying to get close to you to learn to learn like where you're hanging out at and stuff like that. That's why they always tell you, hey, don't say nothing to your cellie or none of that in jail. That goes like all around the building. Like, don't tell them too much. Question. On the street, then, just the Newtown area where you lived at, was there any conflict between BDs and GDs around that area? Oh yeah. We was into it with the IDB Wells and best of friends now. I'm sorry. And best of friends now. You hear me? Best of friends. No wars. All the people kicking it. Like, that's a prime example of change in Chicago. I say that 39th Street, like, I say that the change, man, because like they was in real. Like, it's real. Was real beef when I was growing up. Like, people died behind it, and all them together now. All them going to parties, picnics, and nothing happened. They stand on it. And that's how I'm trying to help the city of Chicago be a better place too. I'm trying to stand on it. Question. Were there any specific rivals that you had or other members of your faction around Newtown had at the period of time in late 90s, early 2000s? I'm going to say I had no ops. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to say like I went to one of the best high schools in Illinois, so I ain't going to say that I had no ops. I ain't going to tell you that. This is confusing. Woo, Lord, and I'm trying to read. Hold on, let me see how y'all doing. Father, do y'all hear this? Woo! I'm trying to read what's on the paper, and my goodness, this is too much. DV, wow, what's going on? Let's see who else came up in her. Cookie Bako Bala, what's going on? Who got it? Whew. Okay, I'm about to go back and read. Lord have mercy. What did we say? Why I can't see the doggone? Okay, he says, oh, okay, Shantan, I kind of figured that out because you, okay. All right, y'all, I'm about to go back and read some more. Also, please hit the like button. Y'all, let me see where them likes is at. Because y'all, yesterday, y'all played me on them likes. It got like 12 likes. Y'all got 10 likes on there. Well, I guess if people keep going in and out, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Also, you guys, please donate to the channel if you can so we can get more transcripts. And also, I can recoup what I already spent. Oh, wait. Why is that up there? Did I take that down? Okay, yeah, that piece. All right, I'm about to go back and finish reading. Wait, how much time we been already? Okay, 147. I think we're gonna go till we're gonna be done at, I don't know, maybe 2, and then I'm gonna drop the link and see if you guys want to come up here and say something. Okay. Where was I at? But as I got older, like going into the 2000s, like the 6 and 7s, yeah, we had some ops, a few problems. And who was that? The hobos. What's the hobos? Woo! Let me tell y'all. Y'all better do y'all homework on the hobos. They was nothing to play with. Okay. That's some straight, man, y'all. All I'm gonna say, do your homework on the hobos, baby. Nothing to play with. These they done got into it with the hobos, y'all. My God. Hold on, this is about to be some good reading. Man, hold on. Look, I gotta sit up. Hold on, let me fix my. Woo, Chad, we finna have a story. All right, here we go. He said, and who was that? He says the hobos. What's the hobos? They was a group. They was a super team. He ain't lying. He is not lying. This boy a fool. You know, it was like a Mike Magic Bird on one team, man. They was standing on shit. You know, we just happened to be into it. I didn't even know who they was. They older guys. All these guys is like way older than me, but you know, and when you say a super team, what do you mean by that? It was a super team, man. They had Mike, Magic, Bird, and a couple of more motherfuckers with them. They had the team. Like, they were strong. They were strong. They had put fear in people. The gang? Yeah. Was it GDs, BDs? It was mixed. They was everything. That's one of the, I ain't gonna say it smart because I ain't no gang member no more, but that's smart. Like, you got everybody with you. Like, who going to go against you if you got every gang with you? The hobos was a mixture of gangs. I'm sorry, he said the hobos was a mixture of gangs. Yeah. But where, he said, but where you were at, was it just BDs? Yeah. And what type of issues did you have with the hobos? Like, how were they handled? Man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Court reporter clarification. Witness, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Well, I came home from boot camp in 07 and I was fresh out of boot camp. And they was like, oh, we into it with them, you know. So I jumped into it. And had all my breath, my energy. I could run, I was fit. So by Mr. Jillian, did you personally ever commit any acts of violence against the hobos? Yes, sir. What did you do? We shot down Bowlegs. And that was the big mistake. Like when you do something, you don't do it right, they come back to hunt. We lost like 2 guys behind that shit. So I want to ask a couple more questions about them. You said you shot down Bowlegs? Yeah. Is his name Gregory Chester? Yes, sir. And Bowlegs is his nickname? Yes, sir. And what do you mean? And what did you mean when you say shot him down? He was coming out of our building and we chased him down. We chased him down. He can run for a big guy, but we chased him down and we just shot him down. Thought we killed him and he ain't die. And that was a mistake. And that's where a super team kicked in at. We lost 2 guys at a funeral in broad daylight. Damn. Dang, y'all. Did y'all hear that? They tried to shoot down one of the hobos, made a mistake, didn't kill him. And he's alleging that the hobos came back and dusted out 2 of their guys in broad daylight at a funeral home. Okay. So you say he was leaving out one of your buildings? Yeah. Are you talking about somewhere in Newtown? Yeah. He was leaving out one of our buildings and somebody spotted him. Like Bowlegs down there. We just jumped on it. Like he ran into we ran, I'm sorry. Like ran him into him. I'm sorry. That's what it say. Ran him into him and chased him down. How many times did you shoot him? They saying that was 19 shots, but it was 17. I know it was 17 times he got shot. Were you trying to kill him? Yeah, for sure. At the time, like, I ain't with that shit no more, but at the time, shit, if it's like you part of your environment, flunky, send off, whatever you want to call it. I called it a send-off move, for a motherfucker to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and do that. That's a send-off move, man. I never do that. I never do that again. Would that be typical for people who are part of the Newtown BDs to go and engage in acts of violence? I mean, that was my first time engaging in some shit like that, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cursing, ma'am. But it was my first time engaging in like something drastic like that. But it was a rush. I was like, you get a rush from that shit. I'm sorry. Damn. You said the super team kicked in and you lost 2 people at a funeral home? Yeah, lost 2 people. Lost 2 of our guys, Antonio Blight and Sloppo. Rest in peace. Good dudes. And what do you mean when you say you lost them? They got killed outside the funeral home at the funeral home AR leak. You know what? Man, look. Y'all colors just always cutting up. But see, this was back in the day. See, this is how you guys know history repeats itself. Because I remember maybe like a year or 2 ago when Spencer Lee got on TV saying like he don't even want to have no funerals up there because y'all doing all these shootings, but I don't even remember y'all doing this back in the day. So you all did this back in the day, and now y'all doing it again. Y'all killing people at the funeral homes, bringing heat to them. So Spencer Leak is they from Peel Hill. Like y'all know, I'm from 90th and Dorchester, so they from right across Stony Island, but we know they family. And it's like, that's like a prominent funeral home. People who are not aware, AR Leaks is like a prominent funeral home in Chicago. And ever since these killings and stuff have increased, the funeral home directors are like, they first of all were trying to say, hey, we can't keep up with all the bodies in the funerals, but two, quit shooting up here at our damn facility. Okay, I'm sorry I had to take a break, but I had to get them a little input in here to get it on the national news. Stop shooting up at AI Leaks in them funeral home. I don't care where it's at. Cottage down there. What's the other one? 70 something. Quit it. All right, we back. I'm back in character. Let me take a drink of water. Damn colors shooting up the damn funeral home. I'm sick of y'all. We just can't have nothing. All right. Well, people selling drugs over in Newtown, the BDs. I mean, when the projects was up, shit. I mean, it was an enterprise. Shit, I mean, you in poverty. You ain't got no choice but to make money. When the projects was up, ain't no money out on the streets now. They broke, starving, gang bang. They need to get on YouTube. Could anybody, so like a hobos member or anybody come over and sell drugs in Newtown? No, that's what the problem was. Like they was trying to extort people. Mr. Greenberg, Judge, I'm going to object as to and ask for a sidebar. Court, yes. Court proceed to a sidebar. Greenberg, Judge, I don't understand what the relevancy of what happened in Newtown and the hobos. I mean, I did the hobos trial. Oh shit, Greenberg got some history. Let's go, Greenberg. He was like, I mean, I did the hobos trial. I don't think it has anything to do with his case. And he's gone on for a while. Now he's throwing in buzzwords like enterprise, but I don't know what any of this has to do with our case. So I'm making a relevancy objection. Now listen, you guys. This is what I was saying this yesterday, and Greenberg caught it, and we catching it. They're trying to build in enough information to establish one. It's supposed to be the Duck trial. They got these guys on trial for assassinating Duck. Okay, let me come back over there so I can see y'all. What line is that? Now, they got these guys on trial for assassinating Duck. So they have to establish, since it's a RICO, they have to establish that the BD organization is a criminal enterprise. So that's why they're asking them questions like, did they do acts of violence? Did they sell drugs in Oblock? Was there a structure of the gang? You see what I'm saying? That's what they bring in these witnesses to establish that. However, you going in too deep. You trying to go into now the interaction of the BDs in a whole different area during a whole different time span that has nothing to do with this. So the government is also, from what people are saying, which I'm saying to be true, that they're trying to build another RICO to bring down the BD organization. Okay? And it's making sense because, like Greenberg is saying, okay, you done talked about the BDs into it with the hobos. You talked about the violence between the two. Why are we still going with that? You see what I'm saying? They're adding a lot into it. So I hope y'all can see what I see and hear what I hear and hear what Greenberg has just pointed out. Because I'm telling you, because the bottom line is you already established that STL was a GD organization, and you established Oblock was a a BD organization in Oblock. Okay, so that's that's done. Why are we still doing this? Okay, I'm about to finish reading. All right, Mr. Jillian. What he's going to say is because of this shooting that he just told us about, and because the Newtown projects were torn down around the same time, he fled Newtown and sought shelter in Parkway Gardens, and that's where I'm going next. But as a result of retaliation from the shooting in part, he hid out in Parkway Garden. Mr. Greenberg, he can say that, but he's going into it, drug dealing and all sorts of other stuff that really has, this has nothing to do with any of the people who are around here. What happened in 98, really has nothing to do with any people that were around here. So he's gone on for a while. Mr. Jillian, it relates to his familiarity with those things that he saw and observed once he got to Parkway Gardens. Let me tell you guys also what's happening. Learn this again in the Chaos trial. Once they have that one trial, they could take the information that was created in that one trial and use it for another trial. Okay. So that's why they trying to get all the information they can out of Mr. Wiley and all these other witnesses that they can. So when they bring that, if and when, let me put that in there, if and when they bring a next RICO against the BD organization, they already can use this information that they got from him. Okay, so please know that. They could stack the deck. They could take information from all cases. Okay. All right, let me continue. Court. Okay. Any other? Miss Giachetti? Yes, Judge. My objection is I don't know how this witness was pre-tried, but this is not a question and an answer. A question is asked, and the witness just goes off in 85 directions, and that's inappropriate. I don't, to me, you don't pre-try a witness this way. And I don't know what the solution is, but it is basically non-responsive. I don't want to be, we're not here for this, for his entertaining the jury. And that's really what's happening here. He's supposed to be asking questions. This is serious. And again, I don't know the solution, but I think that the questions should be specific and he should be brought back to what the specific questions are. Otherwise, we just have no idea what's going to come out of his mouth next. Now, let me tell y'all can hear what he's saying. The boy is talking street. Okay. Now, at the beginning, he kind of did try and, go off the mark. But right now, from what I just read, he's on point. But the way he's talking, she doesn't understand the slang and what he's saying. So that's why she's lost. Okay. Now, I agree with her that at the beginning, he did try to like flim-flam, but he was saying he was nervous. So it's expectable. But right now, he's on point, and she just doesn't understand the vernacular and what he's saying and the slang. That's all it really is. But this is funny to me. All right, so let me keep going. Mr. Jillian, I agree with a lot of that, Your Honor. And part of it is this came up when Mr. Sloan was here. It's just demeanor. Opposite ends of the spectrum. One person, it's please speak up with him, and it's I'm trying to keep him focused and rein him in. But absent me getting up there testifying or leading him all the way through, that's just who he is. That's just who he is, Your Honor. Mr. Boyle, that's understood, but I will revisit Mr. Greenberg's specific objection. I think it's time to move on I mean, the idea that he was familiar with drug dealing in Newtown, that's how he could recognize drug dealing at Oblock. Y'all hear how he tried to spin it in there? Did y'all hear how he tried to put it in there? I mean, the idea that he said right here, I mean, the idea that he was familiar with drug dealing in Newtown, that's how he could recognize drug dealing at Oblock. Boy, I'm the you know what? Oh my God. Boy, please. Y'all, this is crazy. I swear to God. The stuff they be trying to get away with. I mean, he had to move away from Newtown and he moved away and he moved to Parkway Gardens. I know he did move. Y'all fools got into it with the doggone hobos. You should have did your research on that. Stupid. Well, you see, they learn. Okay. Court, okay. I think it is. I wouldn't say it's irrelevant in the sense that it explains that he's had experience with it. So I think, I guess, but it does start to, if you dwell on it too much, because it is not the charges here, it's different people, then it starts to get into 403. And so I would say let's try to move on from it like reasonably soon. Mr. Jillian, yes, Your Honor. Okay, thanks. Y'all see that? If them attorneys would have jumped in there and said, what's the purpose of this? Why y'all drawing on this? They would have kept on asking information for what happened over there. So guess what you just established now? Now you establish information and crimes on the Newtown BDs, and you about to get crimes on Oblock BDs. Y'all better be paying attention to what's happening, okay? Let me get back to it. So just coming back, Mr. Wiley, did members, when you were with their, so let's say from late 90s to mid 2000, members of the Newtown BDs sell drugs in that area? I mean, yeah, of course, yeah. Could anybody just no? And why not? You ain't from there, first of all. So you ain't just finding Christopher Columbus delaying it. Nah. If you ain't from the neighborhood, like you ain't gonna go nowhere that you ain't from. Like, ain't nobody just entering no project building. He ain't lying. He is not lying. I mean, not anybody who had no damn sense. Sorry about that. Like, it ain't nothing just like these blocks. So you referenced a couple of times that the projects Newtown was no longer or is no longer up. Yeah, it's no longer up. What happened? The buildings got tore down. Do you remember about when that was? 2002. At some point, did you move to Parkway Gardens? Yeah. Was there a specific reason why you moved to Parkway Gardens? That's where everybody was. Yeah. Everybody from low end was on 63rd. And you go where people. Shit. I knew everybody on 63rd. And so that's where I went. Now, do y'all hear what happened? When they tore down the projects, the low end Ida B. Wells, most of these people migrated to 63rd. Like we people said that lived on the blocks, when they tore the projects down, they sent these people into all of our neighborhoods, and all of the ruckus, the mayhem, the buffoonery, it escalated, y'all. It did. Listen to what he said. They went from the projects to 63rd, and 63rd has been buck wild ever since. I mean, it died down now because, like they saying, everybody dead and gone. But when they came, come on now. I ain't got to say no more. Say nothing is what I'm going to do, okay? That's where everybody was. Yeah, everybody from the low end was on 63rd, and You go where you know people. Shit, I knew everybody on 63rd, so that's where I went. Did you shooting bow legs have anything to do with you going to Parkway? I mean, yeah, part of it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we used our heads. I know you did. I know when you knew them hobos weren't playing with you, you got the dirties and got out of there. I know you did. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. If they keep coming through, I'm sorry. If they keep coming through this block and tearing it up, we not finna stand in front of these row houses. They gonna have to come to the O. They gonna have to come in Parkway to get us, you know. You gonna have to come through them gates. So yeah, we did. That's the truth. Hey, y'all hear that? Them hobos got them the hell out of there. Okay. So I think you told us at the start that you moved to Parkway in about 2006. Does that sound about right? Yeah, '07, like '06, '07. Yeah. I've been in Parkway since 2002 though. Since our buildings fell, that's where all quarter, I'm sorry, that's where a quarter of our block went. A quarter of our block went through to the Tukaville area and all that. You know, the projects, they were spread out and went everywhere. That's what I just said. The tore them damn buildings down and sent them people all throughout Illinois. Damn it. What do you mean when you say you were over there in 2002? That's where the majority, like, nice amount of people from the project moved to, like the low income and Parkway. Were you back and forth or something? I'm just trying. I was back and forth. I was back and forth from Newtown. Like I stayed in there in '06, but I was everywhere. Like I ain't just staying there because I was able to go to I'm sorry, Gyro City to steal. Even when I was in there, I was able to go to the other side with no problem. So again, just to make sure we're on the same page. Y'all hear that? He going there to steal. Just to make sure we're on the same page. '06, '07, you're solidly in Parkway Gardens for at least a period of time. Yeah, that's not what he said. He just told you in this sentence, he said I was going back and forth. I was back and forth from Newtown. Like I stayed in there in '06. And man, please. Okay, let me keep reading. But he says yes. Okay. Were you staying there when you went to Parkway? Like, did you have a lease? Were you staying with someone? Yeah, I was staying with someone. I was staying with the girl. Okay. And eventually you left in 2011? Yeah. Okay. So when you first got to Parkway Gardens, 2006, 2007, were there other Black disciples in Parkway Garden? Yeah. Like a few, a lot. Was it all BDs? How was it? It was a mix, like mix. You had some MCs, you had some GDs, you had some Stones, you had BDs, a lot of BDs, but it was mixed. At some point, did that change? Yeah. When did that start to change? Probably like '08, no, '09, when Shorty Freeman started popping up and shit. Okay, so who is Shorty Freeman? He was the king, like one of the kings, one of the founders. He ain't no founder, he the king. He was the king. The king of what? The BDs? Miss Borman, Judge. Can we have a sidebar, please? Yes. Sidebar. Miss Borman, Judge, what happened in 2006 and 2007 and who some fellow was that I don't even know who he was? Y'all, this is crazy. Y'all, my stomach. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Okay, let me read it again. She said, Judge, what happened in 2006 and 2007, and who some fella was that I don't even know who he was? He's not relevant to this case. All of this is not relevant to the charges here. Did y'all hear what I said? They trying to do them add-ins. That and these attorneys are catching it. They like, why you adding all of this in? Pay attention. Mr. Julian, Your Honor. Miss Borman, very remote. Mr. Julian, him explaining how Parkway Gardens used to be mixed conglomerate. Hold on. Conglomeration of gangs and converted into being solidly BD Black Disciple. I think that's what he said. Of course, that's relevant. Court, I think it's relevant because it's trying to explain how Oblock, under the government's theory, I'm not making a finding that this is the case, but under the government's theory, they're trying to prove that Oblock is an enterprise. And so the history of how that occurred under their theory is relevant. Proceedings heard in open court. Mr. Jillian. Okay, so now they back to testimony. So were you talking about this guy you said was the king of the BDs? Yeah. All right. So what happened in 08, 09 to make Parkway become more solidly BD? And as you were saying, he was just riding around, like the Calumet building got recoded in like 04, 05. So all the structure was gone. Like it was just loose schools running around, What? And he denounced himself in Stateville 2000, early 2000. He denounced himself, so he was no longer. And then he threw Marvell under the bus. Boy, what is he? Now I'm lost right here now. Okay, hold on. Okay, so what happened in 08, 09 to make Parkway more solidly BD? As you were saying, he was just riding around, They shouldn't have stopped him. Because somehow they stopped him, and now this thing got off or something. Like the Calumet building got recoded. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm sorry. The court reporter probably didn't catch what he said. Okay. But I'm reading to y'all what it says. It says, now I know what the Calumet building was, and it's saying got recoded in like 04, 05. So all the structure was gone. Like it was just loose schools running around. I don't know if he might have said loose screws running around, and he denounced himself in Stateville in 2000, early 2000. He denounced himself, say he's no longer, and then he threw Marvell under the bus, but he ended up resurfacing in Parkway and was trying to stand on it, So people honored it. Like some people respected it. I didn't. Like a lot of people that I know didn't respect him or honor him. What do you mean when you say he showed up there and started trying to stand on it? He showed up and, I'm the king, shit like that. But it was over with. Like, didn't nobody want to respect that? Like, some people respect it. Some people look up to people and not look at they self as leaders. Like, I always thought myself as the same thing as if I was in the streets. Like, I thought I was Larry Hoover. I thought I think I'm the best. Like, whatever. like whatever I do. So I always thought myself bigger than what another person. Like normally you have a flunky, but no. So around this time when you said that it became more solidly Black disciple, were you all referring to Parkway Gardens as it was Parkway? At the time when you were living there, so from 2006, 2007 to into 2010, maybe early 2011, did anyone refer to it as Oblock? No, it is something that happened later. That happened August of 2011. So now I want to come back to when you were still there. People called it Parkway. Have you heard of something called Wick City? Yes. What's that? That was just like what they called they self. Wild, insane, crazy, some shit. I thought it was Wick from the Wick office. When they said Wick, I'm thinking like Kaboom's Juicy Juice. He's stupid. He is so retarded. Y'all, he a fool. I bet you they was in there laughing because I think if I was on the stand, y'all, I probably would have laughed. I ain't gonna lie. I know I would have laughed, okay? I ain't gonna lie, I would have laughed. I would try to hold it in, but I would have laughed, okay? Especially early on when he said I need a receipt. I don't know what y'all talking about, that 24K, run a receipt. I would have laughed, I promise you, okay? I ain't know they was talking about, none of that. I'm just keeping it real. Now you said that when people start calling Parkway Oblock was August of 2011. Is that right? Yeah. Do you know where the name Oblock comes from? Odie Perry. That was a good friend of mine's, man. He was younger than me, but he was a good friend of mine's. Like he was a good friend. Like he stayed at my house when he ain't go home. Mama was a good lady. So yeah. Actually, can we publish, Your Honor? I'm showing something that's admitted in evidence. Can we, maybe she said, can we pause? Ooh, this court reporter is, baby. I don't know, but we're going to work through it. I'm showing something that's admitted in evidence. Court, yes, Mr. Julian. So I'm showing that what's been admitted as government exhibit 564. Do you know who that is? Yes. Who is that? It's O.D. Perry. Who said you said you knew him personally? Yep. When did you first meet him? Met OD like '07. Yeah, like '07. Where did you meet him? In Parkway. Was OD someone who lived in Parkway? Yeah. And what happened in August of 2011? It seemed like you were referring to something. August of 2011, that's when he was killed. Was Mr. Perry someone who would you say from Parkway? Yeah, he from Parkway. He from there. Did he live there when you were living there? Yeah, yep. He lived there. And then he moved out. They moved out, but yeah, he was still coming back. You said that what isn't I'm sorry. You said that what is now Oblock is named in honor of Mr. Perry. Yep. But he was smooth. He's a smooth dude, bro. He ain't like them. Like he was smooth. Earlier, Mr. Greenberg, Judge, can Michael Jordan be instructed to stop editorializing? I can't deal. You know what? Y'all know what? I'm sick of Greenberg. I promise you. I can't. I'm sick of Greenberg, y'all. I'm telling you, I would have been laughing in court. I promise you. I see why they was laughing. Cause he cutting up the attorneys acting spicy and shit. Oh my god. That is some funny shit. Okay, let me keep going. I'm sorry. Okay, court. I guess I would say the witness. Thank you for calling me Michael Jordan, Mr. Miyagi next time. Oh, spicy. Okay, now let's stop right here. This must have been when he tried to say that somebody's attorney called him Michael Jordan. He must have forgot that at the beginning when they questioned him, he's the one said he was the Michael Jordan of YouTube. Now later on they said that, but he gotta take it and be like, he's the first one that he put that on the books. Mr. Greenberg didn't call him that until after he said that later on. Okay, so on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, other bloggers and people in the drill industry are like mad at him and talking about him for saying that he was the Michael Jordan of YouTube, because people were coming to the trial and going back reporting to that population, and that's one of the things that they brought back. Okay, so I need to clarify that so y'all know why I'm saying that. So let's I'm about to read again. So he said, thank you for calling me Michael Jordan, Mr. Miyagi next time. It says, court, just so the government's going to keep asking questions, and just try, sir, and answer the question the best you can. Try to focus on the question and answer the question. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Mr. Jillian, Mr. Wiley, earlier you referenced the other side where you moved, and I want to ask you, I'm asking about right now when you still lived in Parkway Gardens. Was there some other side when you were there? So from 2006, 7 to 2011, was it a other side? Yeah, it was other side, but they wasn't into it. When did they become into it? I'm gonna say like 2010. Like that was when the shit started. Like you couldn't go to school no more. All type of bullshit. Like I seen all the kids drop out over there like all at once. Like nobody going to school. Like it was like got serious. The raps, the everything got serious. He said the raps. And I hope he wasn't trying to say the APEs. I don't know what he was saying, but he was like, got serious. Can y'all believe that? Did you all hear that? That is crazy, you guys. I didn't even know that was going on. I mean, I would know because clearly, let me see, 2010, I was gone. I was back and forth to Chicago, but that's unacceptable. You cannot tell me that them schools in that area did not know all them kids in that area had dropped out of school. I'm going to read that again and you all listen. How does it? He said everybody. He didn't say one or two kids. He's saying due to the violence, they could not go to school. I'm reading this again. This is crazy. Okay, when did they become into it? I'm gonna say like 2010. Like that was when the shit started. Like you couldn't go to school no more. All type of bullshit. Like I seen all the kids drop out over there, like all at once. Like nobody going to school. Like it was like got serious. The raps, the everything got serious. And to be clear, when you say the other side, what are you talking about? Gyro, STL. Oh, you know what? Y'all listen to this. Oh my God. I don't know if y'all can see this. The court reporter wrote gyro, GYR, like gyro. That's why I said gyro. I think she was trying to say gyro. You know, gyro is a sandwich that, you know what I'm saying, they got in Chicago. It's like it's lamb meat, and they like pack it onto this thing, and then they cut it and shave it into a pita bread. And what he's saying is gyro, which is a city or area. And gyro, I think they spelled a gyro, Giro, gyro city, because I think it's no GA. Is it GA? It might be GI or GA. I think it's GIRO. You got Gyro City, STL, and the other side. Y'all, that's hilarious. She put it like the gyro sandwich. Oh my God. Okay, let me keep going. Stop. I'm surprised well, I guess maybe, I don't know. It's funny that she even knew about that. Okay, starting in about 2010, are you saying that Parkway, by whatever name it was called at the time, later Oblock and STL started getting into it? Wait a minute. Wait, he said, and whatever name it was called at the time. Yeah, clashing, probably high school fights, females, females always in the mix of some. But yeah, when you were in Parkway, kind of coming back, Mr. Jillian, you can unpublish, Your Honor. Thank you. Question: were you involved in any way with guns with respect to the Black disciples? Can you clarify that? Yeah. Did you gather guns? Did you buy guns? Did you do any of those things? Oh, yeah. Was there one, or is there one specific instance when you bought guns with other BDs? A few. A few? Yeah, a few. When was the first time you bought some guns with other Black disciples? The time you were saying? Uh-huh. Like shit, 06, 07. Like we was going to tell the old people. Have you ever bought a crate of guns? Yeah. Damn, y'all. Woo, shit. Did y'all hear that? They was buying crates of guns. Is there a specific instance when you bought a crate of guns? Yeah. When was that? 2. I can't remember the exact date. It's been a long time, but yeah, we bought them. Were you living in Parkway Gardens at the time? Yeah. Where did the money come from to buy this crate of guns? Pitching in. People who got money. Shit from everywhere. Who was pitching in? Everybody. Like everybody. Everybody who wanted some guns. Like who wanted some, who wanted to be protected. Like whether you were shooting it or not, shit, you was like, the block needed guns. Wasn't anybody going to give them to us, so everybody got to put up something. Or are you talking about other BDs? Yeah. Where did the crate of guns come from? A guy named George. And where's George? Across the street. Were they across the street in a van? Were they across I'm sorry, he said across the street. Were they across the street in a van? Were they across where were across the street in the store? Okay, what kind? What kind of store? A regular store. Food store, chips, pops, and shit like that. Do you all hear this? Do you all hear this? I am so glad I am reading this, because this is giving me so much insight. He is telling us that in living in Oblock, they were purchasing guns, he says right here, from a regular food store, people. He said crates of guns, not just individual guns, crates of guns, a food store where they sell chips, pops and shit like that. I'm done. I'm done. Do you all see how they do in these colored folks communities? I ain't even gonna go on a rant yet. Okay, let me keep going, and then let me see what time. Y'all, I done got into this. Damn near forgot y'all was up there. Hold on, here I come. Give me a second. Let's just get through this, and then we gonna have to pipe down. But this is crazy. Oh my God. They sold chips and pops and guns. Tell us. Listen to the question, y'all. They sold chips, pops, and guns. Ain't that crazy? But I mean, just the way it's funny. It's not even funny, but it's funny the way he put it. Like, but that's how they do color folks. They'll do something like that. But they'll also be selling cocaine, flowers, and you know what I'm saying? That's how they'll do. Real talk in the hood. That's how it go. I mean, I don't know if they were selling a lot of that, but I mean, that's where we got them from. Like, I don't know if they was just, shit. That's where we met him. You all met him at the store, yeah, and bought a crate of guns and brought it back to Parkway. No, we ain't take it back to Parkway. Where did you take them? We take it back to the low end. We're on the low end. We couldn't take it in Parkway because like it was like tension with people up in Parkway. Like they tend to get into it with somebody over some liquor, like some drunk stuff. Mr. Dolph, non-responsive to the question, narrative. Court, sir. So I'll just ask again. Try and listen to the question and try to answer that question. Is it a little different? It is a little different from a conversation just in normal outside the court. It's more, any kind of testimony in court by anyone is always more, it's more formal, and it's not like a conversation outside the court. They trying to tell him how to talk. No, you need to get up on your street. If you're being an attorney in an urban area, you need to know color folks language. You need to learn Ebonics. You need to learn how we pronounce our words and don't pronounce our words. You need to know black and white English. Okay, lady, you need to learn that stuff if you're going to be an attorney for our colored folks and these type of people. Okay, he should not have to change how he talks. Okay, let me get back to it. So just try and listen to the question and try and answer the question as best you can, please. Witness. Okay, Miss Jillian. So I'm going to change gears a little bit. Did you observe people having meetings when you were living in Parkway? So from 06, 02, 07 to 2011, I mean, meetings is just part of a gang. Meetings, part of like, it's just part of a culture. What do you mean by that? If you're in a gang, you got to have a meeting. How could you know who the person who run the block or the lowest person on the tail pole? Like, it's just Miss Dump. Non-responsive narrative. I'm getting sick of her. I am getting sick of Miss Dump because he's answering the questions and she's not comprehending. Damn it. Let me come over there. She done pissed me off now. I think we might have to go because the lady done got on my nerves. All right, I'm coming. Hey, 6ix9ine. Who else done slid up in here? All right, y'all. Yeah, she done pissed me off. Okay, we getting to the 3-hour mark. So we gonna stop, you guys. Hold on, let's remember. She done pissed me off, though. But for real, though. And I mean it. Okay, so we at 5768. I gotta try and remember that. So, woo, child, y'all. It's a lot of pages, but this is very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna just say that. But Miss Dump, whatever her name is, she done pissed me off with not understanding Ebonics. And I'm gonna put this in here in case somebody want to come up, and we ain't staying in here long because I forgot. I try not to take it, you guys, too far to the 3-hour mark, or we might go a little bit over, but I put that in there. But yeah, I'm not taking it back. I feel like if you, let me take this off. If you are about to be an attorney for colored folks and people from the street, you need to learn Ebonics, and you need to learn, you know what I'm saying, how they talk and the words he's using, so you could understand. And then how you gonna sit up there and say you don't know who Shorty was? Like, come on now, girl. And that's the funny part, because appears she's a defense attorney, and you a defense attorney for a lot of these guys is colored that's going behind these bars, or brown people, and you don't know you don't know the structure of these gangs or the history of these gangs. And the way she look, I read it the way I thought she said it, but those were her words. It kind of was like she blew it off, like, for some guy who I don't even know who he is. I mean, come on now. What do you mean you don't know? You should be learning the history, because you doing a defense for these guys. You need to know who these people are. But my God, you guys. Okay, so we learned a lot. Let me do a summary. If somebody wants to come up here, they can. And then we getting out of here. So, again, if you can, donate to the channel. I don't care how much you guys put in. All is appreciated. The information is down there at the bottom. Oh, wait. There it is. The Cash App is there. Also, I have PayPal. That would be nice, so I could recoup the amount that I spent and also get more transcripts. I do want to get like 2 more. The testimony for Cooperator 3 as well. But if not, we'll just wait. So the summary is the government is still up to the same shenanigans, just like they did in the Kells case. They tried to sneak some evidence in. The attorneys are not going. They're pretty much bucking, saying like, hey, you didn't give us this evidence. And they're basically putting it on the record and making note of it. So in case these guys get convicted, they'll be able to use that as a something that they can file an appeal on, because they're trying to say it's a Brady violation. It's Brady material, Giglio material, and 3500 material that they're trying to say was not given to them at the beginning of the trial. So go back to the video from yesterday if you missed it, so you can understand everything that's going on. Again, they are trying to sneak in a lot of information from a whole different BD facet, Newtown. They over questioned him about that, because understand, you definitely want to establish that the BDs are a criminal organization, but it's kind of already been established. Like, this is overkill to try and take him down memory lane over to the BDs, getting into it. Now he's saying he was into it with the hobos, talking about what happened there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the attorneys caught it. So the attorneys caught it and called them out on it. And now they're kind of getting to the point where they're building it, y'all. They showing that the gangs, he named 3 different gangs. He named the Stones, the GDs, and the BDs being an Oblock. Then he came back and tried to explain how it flipped to entirely BDs. He talked about how they had meetings. Now he's talking about how they're engaging in guns. And I'm positive the next time we come on here and read, they're going to be talking about murders and shootings and killings. They talked about how it got named Oblock by the death of O.D. Perry, a young man. So they're building it. Okay, you guys hear it? They building it. So they building a case, but they trying to also do a what they call it. They trying to do a I don't want to have to say it like that. They just pay attention, man. They trying to show you the right hand, and then you know what I'm saying. It's really in the and it's really in the left. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, it's a lot of moving parts, and I hope I hope you guys understand what he was saying. And thank God I played in the streets, so I understand what he's saying, and I'm seeing where all of this is going, you know. And I know how the Chicago is. I know how the police play. I know how these attorneys play. I know how they move. I understand their language. I understand these guys. All of this. So I'm just telling y'all. But bottom line is the part that's devastating to me that I'm gonna have to sit here, and I'm also going to have to reach out to some people and be like, did you know? You're telling me that all of these kids in Oblock all of a sudden stopped going to school and nothing was done? See, you guys have to understand, and it gets deeper because it goes into the pipeline of prison, okay? When you understand the whole concept that prisons are billion-dollar private businesses, and that's the first step of shutting down schools or getting kids to get kind of, you know, have disciplinary actions in school, which of course leads them into the streets, which of course leads them into a life of crime, which of course leads them into the prisons where they make money off of you. Okay, that's why it's so upsetting, because how do you see a whole complex of people? Who was the damn mayor in 2010? See, that's what I'm saying. I gotta look up this stuff and see like what was really going on, because this is deeper than rap, you guys. Okay, this is bigger than Nino Brown. This is crazy. A whole complex, a whole area, because you can't tell me that over there on the STL side, and like he's saying, Gyro City, them kids weren't going to school neither. So you got a whole area, blocks and blocks of kids. Because I understand too, Devil's Man, Idle Man is the Devil's Workshop. They not going to school. So now you see they sitting over there. You could throw drugs at them. That's how these kids get hooked on drugs. You buying guns, you shooting guns, you doing drugs, you in there doing all type of stuff, making babies. I'm telling y'all, that just pisses me off, because I feel like something could have been done. I gotta see who the mayor was at that time, because I just don't believe you couldn't have posted up, had some police post up, and shut that down. Like we're talking about literally. Hold on, let me see if I could pull up. Have y'all seen a map of the area that we're talking about? We're talking about literally like a couple blocks away from each other. We're in one block, actually. Hold on, let me see because I swear, didn't I pull up a map, you guys? I hope I saved that map. I might not have saved it. Let me see. Damn, I ain't say that map. Okay, well, guess what? Hold on. I'm gonna search for it. Again, go back, watch the videos. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Where the likes at? Are y'all telling me I only got 11 likes? That's all y'all gave me? I know people been popping in and out now. Hold on, let me look again. Let's see. Wow, y'all only gave me 11 likes. All that reading. OMG. 11. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me see, y'all. It's not letting me. Saying stop. What is this up here? Okay, stop screen. Give me a second. I'm just gonna try and see. Can I pull it up real quick? Map. Let's see. Map of. Dang, I used to have it. Cause I did a video on that. I don't know where it was though. Hold on, y'all. Just give me 1 second. I mean, if I can't find it, I'll come back and bum, 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 bum. You know what? Maybe I put it in. Just gonna see if I can put it in Google Maps. Let's see. This is some, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This case is, I've got some good information off of there. I don't like these maps. Okay, when I come back, you guys, I have a map because I want to show you, or if you do your own research, pull up a map with you know, and try and see the proximity from Oblock. Parkway Gardens is the official name. So you Google Parkway Gardens in respect to 63rd Street on the east side and St. Lawrence. You'll see St. Lawrence, Eberhard. You can even search Jaro City. I think, yeah, Jaro City is Jaro. That is Jaro City. Okay, so, but yeah, pull up a map. They're literally like a block away. It's walking distance. So understand when they hit King Drive, understand there's food stores over there. Them guys was getting killed going to the food store, going to the grocery store. Like literally, you trying to go get a pop and you wind up dead. I mean, it's really up the block, like right up the street. It's insane. So it's like running through a couple alleys and killing folks. And then I heard the one guy say he didn't know what a gangway was. The next time I go home, I'm gonna try and see if I can pull up a picture, but if not, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what a gangway is. Like if you listen to Doug's song, which one? I think it's not in Slide. Cause he be like, we'll catch you in your gangway. What? Yeah. It's gotta be Dead Bitches. I think that was. Yeah, it was. Go listen to the lyrics in Dead Bitches by Duck. He talks about catching people in the gangway. And I'm gonna explain it to you real quick for those of you guys who don't know. A gangway is a space in between houses. Okay. So do you understand, like in Philly and in Baltimore, the buildings are stuck together, like there's no room in between them. So that's probably why people don't understand what that is. In Chicago, there's spaces in between buildings and houses. Some people call it a cut. Some people call it a gangway. Now, sometimes they're bigger than others, but on the east side, they're slim. And from what I saw on the west side, theirs appear to be a little bit smaller and tighter. And that's just for me rolling around, going to like my cousin's house and stuff. But on the east side, we got some tight ones too. But really over east, the space between them houses is small. And understand, a lot of these, when things happen and these gangs are going at each other, they're coming through the gangway. So understand, I just gotta show you guys how the blocks are. I explained it before, but since I got new subscribers, I'll go through it again in case you guys aren't familiar with alleys and gangways. Chicago's has alleys and gangways, spaces in between houses that you could run literally from one major street all the way to the other major street in between the houses. And a lot of the gang members, when I was growing up, would do that to get away from the police. So the police would chase them, but they would already have their route to get away. So instead of them running straight down the street, they were running between the houses. You know, sometimes they get a little bit further and duck under a porch or something like that, or go hide in somebody's garage or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, they was hitting that gangway. But also understand when these gangs coming to you know what I'm saying, end each other's lives, they coming through them same gangways. Okay, all type of days. So, and I don't even know if that really the word gangway is made. Is it Gang or is it gangway? I gotta look that up. But we call it gangway. Gangway. That's how we pronounce it from the city. So, but I'll try and look that up and see if that really means that. But it is what it is. So, you guys have no questions? Don't want to come up? We're going to get out of here. We're about to reach the 3-hour mark. Again, thank you guys for subscribing. If you guys want to purchase professional shampoos, conditioners, and shop where the professional beauty people industry shop, go to my website, shopthepolishedlook.com. The website is also on the top of my YouTube page. You can go to my website and purchase beauty products. Professional, not professional beauty products. If you need thumbnails, graphics, websites, anything like that for your YouTube channel, I also produce those as well. All right, you guys. So that's it. I don't think I had anything else to add. Thank you guys who support me, who are supporting this part of the channel, because you know normally this is the kale sector, but I'm also trying to build up other topics as well. So, you know, I got to get my Chicago stuff in there. But sad thing in regards to this case, you guys, you guys are really getting an opportunity, and I'm really getting an opportunity to see just how bad. I mean, I knew it, what was going on, but to hear it. Now, because the thing is this, I saw the schools closing down. I knew kids weren't going to school, but to tell me that a whole area of kids was not going to school, even when I worked downtown, I knew that, like, I had clients that would come to me and tell me that they couldn't come in and meet with me because there will be gang wars. You guys got to understand the gangs ran some of these project buildings, okay? So they would tell these women between 9 and 10, don't go outside, or either they will hurry up and let their kids go to school, and then they will hurry up and come back, or it would be up before the kids even got to school, therefore the kids weren't going to school. So I knew different things that was going on, but to tell me that a whole section, a whole community is not going to school, that's a problem. That's a problem, people. That's a problem. And you see what it leads to. Just like any normal kid from any other place that's not going to school. Okay? Just understand Chicago has any and everything you want. You can get it at any time you want. I mean, the resources are unlimited. So while a person that's living in the country, maybe in a farm, doesn't have access to everything, Chicago has access to any and everything. It's limitless. Okay? The shenanigans that you can get in, the things you can come up with are endless. Okay? So I'm not even going to keep talking and belabor the point, but you guys just, wow, you know, pray for Chicago. Shouting out everybody from the South Side stand up, East Side stand up, North side, stand up. West side, stand up. All right, you guys. Shout out to all the subscribers and the moderators. Thank you for moderating. Thank you, Chi-Town Finest. You guys make sure you go subscribe to her channel. Also, I think Miss Lady T also has a channel. Let me see who else is in here. Okay, I don't see nobody else. All right, you guys. So, oh, wait, I need to read these messages. Sorry, I didn't hear what y'all said. He said, let me know when you're ready. I don't know what he's talking about. On YouTube, it's under some. Oh, must be talking to somebody. Now, no, I'm telling the truth. Let them know, because it's a lot of BS still going in Chicago. Oh, yeah, it sure is. And it's never going to stop. You know, Chicago is a gangster city, period. And you could take from that and put whatever you want to with it, but that's what it is. That's what it was. That's what it always shall be. All right, you guys. As always, do everything in God's divine order. Do everything in the spirit of righteousness to ensure righteousness prevails. Skyye Lyfe loves y'all. I'm taking some vacation time, so I still don't feel good. I still want to fight this cold, but I'm gonna come back. We're gonna finish this up. But wow, you guys. I hope you guys like this, what you're hearing, and you learning a lot about Chicago, as am I. But I'll see you guys next time. Skyye Lyfe loves y'all. Have a good day.